Hello, 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 everyone. A most just such a joy to have Huna Flash with us today again. Ishmael is joining us for half an hour at some stage during this broadcast. So as soon as Ishmael arrives, I will bring him in. Huna, before we get started, how are you doing today?
I am very good, thank you very much, and a big wawa nui aloha to all of your audience, the sweet, sweet dear ones, sweet dearly beloveds, as I say, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little bit rambunctious,
Oh,
a little bit rambunctious. Maybe it's because of what I'm wearing. Maybe. So
yeah, I'll
what?
tell you what, you're bringing some attitude to it today. And actually, I just want to welcome everyone in the chat. I love doing these lives. I was just laughing with Huna because Ishmael will join us when he can. He's got a really full schedule today. So don't worry, Ishmael will be here for half an hour at some stage during this chat. We're not quite sure exactly which time he'll be joining in. But it's been so good for me, Huna, sort of doing more of the lives to sort of let go of the control. And this is something I want to talk about in terms of today and where we're all at, because I think a lot of people in the audience can resonate with having to let go, really let go and trust and really follow their intuition, to let go of the petty things in life that don't matter anymore. So before we start this lovely conversation with all our audience interaction, thank you so much for putting us where you're from. I love seeing you where you're all from. Oh my goodness, I've lost my screen now. So carry on, Huna, whilst I've lost my screen.
Well, I
I,
can still see you.
I know, but I can't see anyone, which means I can't bring.
Okay.
Okay. So what I've done is I've messed up the screen. So it means I can't bring Ishmael in when I see him. So let me try. Whilst I
Well,
try and work that out.
yeah, you go ahead and add that third person screen in there.
Is he joined? I literally can't see anything at the moment.
Wonderful.
Okay, sorry about this. This is a beauty. So I was saying letting go of control, and I need to let go of control. So how do I see the comments? Sorry, everyone. I've literally lost my screen completely on my computer. So whilst I'm doing that, Huna, can you tell everyone sort of where you feel we're at and set the intention for today?
Yeah, I think we're all graduating out of high school. Can I say that? We're all graduating out of high school, right? Right. And we're returning to kindergarten. Okay, we're returning back to the lessons that either okay, we're just remembering. I mean, this is what happens when the awakening or the awareness starts coming in. You have to go back to the beginning, right? You gotta work through all of what you have learned, toss it all out, because things have changed. They haven't gone backwards. Let me say they haven't reverted. I don't feel they're reverted. Yeah, there's some nonsense going on, but I don't think things are totally reverting back to, let's say, the Cold War or the war mentality, because that's there. But I think the consciousness, the awareness of everyone, let me say, graduating high school. Now we move from out of high school and we go up to these up, down, sideways, whatever you want to say, to these new rememberings, of these rememberings and these awareness and these wisdom and knowledge that's eking its way into the consciousness of our global community. And I think that's like going back to kindergarten again, except the knowledge is just say, what's the word? I don't want to say better than. I don't mean that. I will say, oh, Bulavinaka to Miss Fiji. Sorry about that. I just had to jump and say Bulavinaka. To the knowledge and wisdom of the ancient new. And I've spoken about this before, because ultimately, because we're from the future, ladies and gentlemen, sweet, sweet dear ones, I feel we're from the future, and we're bringing the ancient knew from the future and all past knowledge evolving, not evolving, compacting, condensing, let me say, bringing that into your density to then begin again and kick everything off from this next level, if I can say that, which I don't mean better than.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So we're getting back into kindergarten, and I feel like it's kindergarten at Lemuria 5. And I will talk about
love
that.
it. And I'm loving the comments in the chat because it's exactly where I feel at. I've been listening intermittently to various people on there. And there's a lot of people. It's quite fascinating when you see we're all on our own unique journey. And this is what I really am very passionate about talking about at the moment, Huna, because every single person watching this, every single person on the planet has their own unique gifts, but it's a question of remembering them and appreciating all our gifts. And when we're actually talking about a lot of this stuff, it is very much remembering of the ancient wisdom and bringing it into the right here, right now, the present moment that we're always talking about. So it does make me, I do have to giggle a little bit when people are saying about how, you know, they're the ones that have been talking about this for ages, because a lot of us, most of the stuff we're talking about, none of it have we invented, and we're all tapping into our different sources. And that's what makes this discussion so beautiful. And talking about tapping into different sources and beautiful discussions, let's bring the amazing Ismael Perez into the screen.
Yes.
Hi. Good morning.
Hello, brother.
Or afternoon. Hey, Brother Hana. How you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. I just have 1,000 things going on.
Oh.
I think I'm going to have to bilocate or, duplicate myself into like 5 Ishmaels.
So haven't you already done that?
Yeah, so that way I could, appease everybody and make everybody happy.
I'm so grateful to you, because I will tell the listeners. So Ismael has got so many people he's meant to be speaking today. And when you're looking at timescales all over the world, it's very easy for all of us to get them muddled up. So one of the things I think is really grateful, we've just got Ismael for a maximum of 30 minutes today. So we're going to make the most of you, Ismael. But thank you so much for joining us, because we do know how busy you are and how everyone's sort of really wanting your time. So Huna and I were just starting off, Ismael, by talking about the intention of where we are right now, because we're really, every single person that's listening, that's watching this, each of us, we've all got our different knowings and sort of integrating different wisdoms that we're bringing back into the here and now. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling right here, right now, in terms of what is going on, both with you personally and also on a more global scale?
Well, I think that everyone's feeling that there is definitely something boiling. Something is about to happen on a huge scale, where it's going to act as a catalyst for the sleeping people as well, those that are not fully awakened. But at the same time, it's going to be shifting those that are awakening and that are vibrating with the frequencies of love, compassion, brotherhood, and sisterhood and harmony. It's going to also align them more with the new Terra Earth that is already coexisting within the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So I think that, personally, it's something that we're all going through, but at the same time, it's a collective transformation. It's a collective transformation. And the Darkettes know that their time is up. So they might attempt to pull in the last card, which is a fake alien invasion. And of course, we've been seeing how they've been shooting down unidentified flying objects within the last week, which is preparing the public for, some sort of disclosure. But I also believe that this is where the timeline shift will be taking place. For those that are resonating with the new Earth, it's going to be a disclosure of restoring, healing modalities, interstellar technology, reuniting with our galactic family. And then for those that are into the negative or don't make the positive timeline, for them, it's going to be more of a, fake alien invasion. The globalists implement a new world government because they, the whole purpose of this last card is to initiate their final agenda 2045, which was, I guess, now fast forward to Agenda 2035, which is depopulation, 80% of the population by 2035. 2025, my bad, which is 2 years from now. So it's hitting a boiling point. So, I think everyone is feeling something. Everyone is feeling something on their own personal life. We're all going through something. As I speak right now, I am letting people go that are no longer resonating with me. And I am only aligning with those that are on the positive timeline. So I think that's happening with everyone. I think everyone is now choosing who is supporting their own vibration and who is aligning with their own, positive life. And this is the timeline split that we're approaching. So it's a collective and individual thing, and I think we all agree to be here in the most transformative times ever in the history of planet Earth, because we all knew what we would be facing when we decided to come to the Earth at this time. We all knew that we came here to, transform and to transition into a new golden era. And I think everyone is finally, that is awakened, of course, everyone is finally realizing that this is the finish line. The golden age is just around the corner. So I'm excited. And I just hope that we manage to secure the majority of Earth humans into the positive ascending timeline by the end of this year, because I think that the shift will happen. I've always said by 2024. So, let's see what happens. But I think that this spring is going to be a very, it's going to be a time of surprises, you could say. A lot of things, beginning with, of course, the pedophile list. That thing is about to roll out in the positive timeline, and all those people that participated in and that went to that pedophile island are about to get exposed. And I think that's going to also lead to the laptop of hell. And in the positive timeline, we are going to see the fall of the cabal and the rise of the new earth.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you. Huma, what are your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, we got to remain gangster, okay? We got to be gangster on this. We're not mucking around. And, we're graduating. And as I said earlier, everyone's graduating from this, just say high school, okay? So we are here. There are many here from the future, ancient, new information, cosmic, galactic, otherwise, think the languaging is going to come back to simplicity. Whereas we're returning to, as I spoke in kindergarten, we're going to return back to playtime, and Lemuria 5 is here now, at least in the consciousness. The physicality of it is starting to move into physical, of course. But I'm, totally excited. I want everyone to remain excited, no matter how, everyone speaks their lingo. Let me say, how they speak their paragraphs and their phrases and the catchphrases and the catchwords. Have I got your attention now? I think that's what we really need to in a way, where the languaging is about, is to get their attention, get everyone's attention. But ultimately, we are saying the same thing. And I've been studying quite a few a variety of shows and channels on YouTube just to see what languaging everybody is saying. What are the catchphrases? What are the catchwords everybody is saying? What it comes down to is we're just trying to get each other's attention. And we got it. You got my attention, Brother Ismael. I hope I have yours. Catherine, I've got yours. Of course, you're a Huna, of course. So what are we talking about in the Huna? Hunas are from the future. It's not a name. It's an essence of light in action. Okay, and it's the sound of light. And so we're all making these our sounds are coming from our light now, and from our thoughts, not just from energy. Because of course, light language, everybody's got this stuff happening now. It's amazing. I want everyone to stay excited. And yeah, there are some wonderful alignments about to pop open. I would like to speak to one that's coming up in spring, which is September from New Zealand's perspective, which is at 2024, letting you know that we already started. We start 2024 this coming June in the Lemurian calendar. Okay, so that's when our new year starts for Lemuria, in June. And when it goes from June to September, bam, We're into the solar flash because that's the 9-month gestation period since January 2023. Okay, so we get bam, boom, then the light hits. This is just my way of sharing, in the way that I talk about things and the ceremonies that we do on location to share. Oh, it's wonderful. So many people are coming with me to the locations on sacred places, to the stargates that we work with and the ley lines we work with and the activations that are taking place in the DNA, connecting, and we're guaranteeing that we're going to meet each other. We're guaranteeing that we are speaking on the same page, no matter the words
Oh, you've gone on mute, Huna. He's been muted. Oh, yeah. Well, that leads me in. Oh, you're still on mute.
Okay.
So that leads me on to a question, and we'll start. I'll ask this to both of you, but starting with Ismael. I was hearing Laura Eisenhower talking about the Nephilim reversals of the grids and a lot of the grid work, about how a lot of the grid work that's been done by the nefarious people has basically had a big impact on us humans' ability to activate our DNA. What are your thoughts on that, Ismael, and where are you feeling we're at with that?
Well, the Nephilim is Enki and his entourage. The Nephilim are the fallen angels. And ever since he returned, he was the culprit behind the rollout of the Mark of the Beast, first of all. But also, they are trying to reverse the timelines, to implement some sort of reverse codings, templates rather. But it's to no avail because the forces of light have already secured the positive ascending timeline. So yes, depending on which perspective, because we also have to consider that there's an infinite number of parallel Earths. If we want to see them in the spectrum, to the far right, we have the positive ascending timeline. To the far left, we have the negative, and then we have everything in between, which is a variation of those two. So when people like Laura Eisenhower speak of this, the Nephilim, the return of the Nephilim, she's talking about the Nephilim in the negative timeline. But in the positive timeline, we don't really have to worry about it, because in the positive timeline, the ancient elders, the gods and goddesses, whether we come from the past or the future, well, because they're coexisting simultaneously, we are at the hub. We are expecting their return in the form of us. We are the ancient elders. And so our mere existence, our vibration is holding the new crystalline structure that will activate the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional Earth. So I don't buy into negative fear porn, scenarios. I stay away from that, because that's, a lot of people are scared based on what they hear in the news, and I always tell them to shut your TV off, because the first thing they want to do is put you in that negative timeline. And so, it's best to understand that it's your choice to ultimately determine. It's your choice that's going to ultimately determine which Earth you end up in. And so there will be a bifurcation soon. We still have time for everyone.
Can I
share something while we have Ismael?
Sorry. Yeah, sure.
I don't want to interrupt you. I want to do a screen share, brother. I wanted to share the omnipresence with you here while you're here before you go. This is called the Wataka. It means operating system of Lemuria. It is omnipresent. So it's not a calendar, although some speak to calendars. The word is Wataka, which means operating system. This particular one is known as the undoing transmutation codes. I wanted to share that with you, just to look upon for the moment. I ain't trying to put you into a trance or nothing, brother.
Actually, I love it. That's the Star of David. It's also the symbol of the Syrian High Council.
Well, it's actually called the primary star, which is a lot older than David. And at the fractal level, it's a lot deeper than the councils. Actually, it's another council that has been spoken of from this deeper perspective I will share, known as the continuum, council of the continuum, which is outside of light. and it produces everything from outside of the light. And is it giving your eyeballs a bit of a headache?
I think there's some particles that went in my eye, and I'm trying to get it out. It's okay.
Some fractals getting in your eye, but this is
it could be some of those dust particles or just a little bit of fur. I have a dog, and sometimes she sheds, and I think that there's fur just floating around. So
this maybe help reverse that. This is it's a little bit not focusing right now, but this is about the undoing, the reversing, not returning to what once was, but undoing that what doesn't serve. And this is technology of Lemuria 5. And I say Lemuria 5 because it's the planet number 5. But just wanted to share this with you before while we have you for the moment. And
it's a very powerful symbol, brother. I see everything. I see the 4 quadrants, the 4 elements coming in. I see the unified field. I see everything. It's all explained. That symbol right there could be at the underlying level of all reality, which is beautiful.
Yes, it reveals the 28 days and the 12 around 1, energetic into the 13. We have the birth signs. Each of the little creatures represent the birth signs of Lemuria, starting with the wombat at the bottom, which is you knew as June. To us, it's called Kopanui Motu. We do away with months, days, and time. We move directly into energy and the rotation of the seasons of love. Okay, the seasons of love. That's the bright colors that you can see, the seasons of love. But there's a lot more to this, and this is what I share in the Dragon Masters course and what I've been sharing, and the number of students that are studying this, becoming Dragon Masters, and sharing the operating mechanisms that are underlying so much of the return to the one language, the one sound, the one. Let me say the symbols before confusion, before Atlantis, before the distorted light, back to the golden age, but not necessarily even even though it will feel like a new golden age. But a golden age, that's where the pure codes are before confusion still exists, and we can access, of course, as you said, all time, all dimensions, future, past, everything, all now, of course. And so this is exactly that this is like a stop captured image, and a stop capture image of the torus field, what is inside the torus field, spinning beyond the naked eye. And so we managed to catch it and stop it and reveal the codes. And that happened because being members of the Council of the Continuum and the certain seat arrangements that I sit on and others sit on in that council to reveal these symbols and these codes at this time. However, this is ancient new, as you know. This is ancient new. Of course, we like David. Of course, we like everybody. This is a lot more ancient than David. And of course, we can go into the trillion years of creation. It's a lot more even than that. As the deeper we go into this primary star, we return back to the one sound, the oneness. So I wanted to share that. There's a lot more to talk about on this, but I thank you for your attention on this. And also Huna Kawahori, Catherine.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And that brings me into asking both of you, thank you so much for sharing that, Huna. So sorry, lost Ismael. That brings me back into something I wanted to ask you, all of you first. And again, we'll start with you, Ismael, is in terms of if people truly believed that we are all connected and we are all oneness, what behaviors do you feel they would be demonstrating now, just as an example to people?
They would be totally selfless. They would see the God, the spark of light in every living thing, not just humans and animals and plants and the earth, the stars, the whole universe. They would see everything as an interconnected unit. They would see the universe as an organism, and they would see themselves as cells within that organism. Just like the trillions or billions of cells in our body are all working together. even though they each have their own consciousness. I think that's the attitude and the mentality that everybody would adapt, as we come to this understanding that there's really no you or me or Hana or how many people are on the chat and everyone else. There's really just one cosmic consciousness expressing itself through trillions of micro expressions of that one universal awareness. And so I think that as people become more enlightened and more aligned with the new earth frequencies, I think that's what's going to be happening. I think, and at that point, we won't need any more religion. We won't need any more governments. This is the end of governments as we know them. We are entering an era where humans are going to be fully sovereign, governing themselves because of this spiritual understanding of universal awareness and universal unification. And, like my brother Hana said, we're bringing it back to one consciousness, one planetary consciousness. And even though we're all going to maintain our memories, our individual unit of consciousness, we're still going to be part of that one, because that's how we evolve. That's how we ascend. We become eventually, as we go into the sixth dimension and up, we become a social memory complex. We become a unimind. And then at which point we decide as a unimind if we want to now take the consciousness and become a planet. Planets were once humans that reached the seventh dimension. Once you reach the seventh dimension, you can become a planetary mind. Stars, eighth dimension. Once you reach the eighth dimension, or we as a collective, then our collective consciousness, our unimind, becomes the one consciousness of a single star. So that's how everything is connected. There is no differentiation between us, planets, animals, stars, plant kingdom, celestial kingdom. Even the archangelic archetypes are archetypes that exist within each and every single one of us. So when people pray to archangels, they're praying in a way where they think that they're praying to something that is out external. But in essence, you have to go within yourself and realize that all the archangels, including the one God, the prime creator source, is something that is always within you. And I think that's where we're coming into. We're coming to understand that there is no separation. There's only just one universal awareness. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Planetary being is an 11th, what we call a fractal, level 11 fractal being to become a planet. That's in alignment with the new Earth, which is an 11 fractal. Gaia was a fractal 10 level, then ascended to fractal 11. The shaman Credo Mutwa ascended to a star fractal being. If you remember the Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa. So yes, you're correct, brother. These fractal levels. My understanding is that as we are awakening, we are moving into 1, 2, and possibly 3rd level fractal beings now. We've got some work to do to get to 10 and 11. Of course, some are sitting around 5 and 6. Not many. Okay, not many. But that's where we're sharing information now to move towards that level, fractal level. And these are measurements, ladies and gentlemen, sweet dear ones. And brother is sharing measurements. We have share measurements of weights and measures so that we can find ourselves not wanting too much, but being able to give everything. And when we're given everything, this is what we refer to as the E4 equals MC cubed, the relationship and relativity to each other, that we become square and solvent to each other. Becoming E4 means everything for everyone, everywhere, every day. We have little need for anything. We're moving towards that, this relieving of these situations we have of greed and governance and blah, blah, blah. And that's wonderful, of course. I just had something on my mind and I just slipped me for the moment. So I'll let you carry on, Huna.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to ask you both, whilst I've got you both together, is for me, it's really when people are really clear about what their core values are, then it's really easy for them to actually make decisions that are in their best interest. So, Ismael, what are some of your core values that you are really non-negotiable for you?
Well, you have to love yourself. You know, that's fundamental. You have to treat yourself like the temple of God, like the shrine that we all are. You know, the truth is that the temple of God is everyone. There is no institution that could be called the temple of God. So the second core value is you have to establish every day some sort of relationship with the divine, whether you call it God, the higher power, your higher self. There are so many expressions of that. Through meditation, qigong, tai chi, even dance, you know, just take 20 to 30 minutes a day, or better yet, you know, nature. The more time you spend in nature, the more you connect with God. The elements are an expression of God, you know. The earth is God, in a sense. Everything is God. Everything outside of us and everything inside of us, right? Everything's a reflection of the in. But the whole point is the core values are very important. You know, mindfulness, that's the third core value. Are you aware and conscientious of your thoughts every second of the day? Knowing that your thoughts and your emotions create, you know, are you aware? Are you mindful? You know, and most importantly, learning how to set the intention. Every morning, wake up and you become the captain of your own sail. You know, don't be a victim of circumstances. You know, set the intention and feel as if you are already that you want to become. And that's the most important thing for me. And then, of course, more importantly as well, is to treat others with dignity and honor the God in every single person, even if they're unawoke, even if they're still programmed. You know, I stopped calling people sheep, you know, because I understand that everyone's on different levels of awakening, and not everyone's going to make the shift. And I understand, but in a future cycle, they will, because no souls will be left behind. So I've come to the awareness that we have to, despite the fact that, you know, there are advanced souls on the planet and new souls, we have to respect the younger souls, guys. We have to respect them and we have to honor them. No confrontation, no argument. It's okay to plant seeds, but, you know, be the example. As an older soul, that is, be the example. Like, always think, what would Buddha do? What would Christ do in this situation? In every given circumstance, ask yourself, what would the Buddha do? What would the Christ do? And act accordingly.
I absolutely love that. I love everything you said. And I just think this is so, so important for people to be thinking about. And we've got some fantastic comments. Don't worry, I'm not going to ignore you all in the audience, because we'll get on to questions in a minute. But Huna, what about your core values? What are you really living by?
I'm laughing way too much. Huna, just laughing way too much, getting giggles everywhere. And I always have. I'm a big child. I'm the biggest child in this room, and I'm probably on this planet. I wanted to share something. I thought it escaped me, but it came back. A while ago, as a healer that I used to do a lot of one-on-one work 10, 15 years ago. I kind of retired from one-on-one. But somebody asked me one time, my cat got hurt and it's really bad and it's crying and everything. Could you send me some energy, connect in and help my cat? And I said, sure, send me a picture of your cat. Just send me an image. Send me an image. And I went, okay, great. Then 24 hours later, the next day, my friend calls me, wow, what'd you do? The cat's up and jumping around, running all over the place. And I said, well, you know, all I did was look at the image and I went to sleep. That's all I did. Go to sleep. What is my practice? What do I do every day? I laugh, I go to sleep, I let my energy seed into the planet, the land, the water, the sky. I allow my energies to go in everywhere, and I allow every energy to come in and pass through me. And I have that practice, meditating or not, sleeping or not. I am of that every nanosecond of my existence here. And that is, and of course, I have modalities and tools I share in these kinds of things. But if I can share that feeling, allow your fractal levels, your energies, whatever you'd like to call them, vibrations, frequencies, and your magnetic power, your voltage system, allow it to seep into the land, the water, the sky, because the atmosphere is water. Your breath is water. Air is water. As soon as you allow that to happen through, you are cloning yourself. You are cloning your energy so that others may, provided you have the highest of intentions, of course. So we got to kind of be nice. We got to behave, right? It's a practice that we're kind of behaving to support one another, and then allow that energy to go through into the dream times, into everywhere. And some people have come back to me and said, "Damn it, Huna, you keep hijacking my dreams. You're always showing up in my walking time, my sleeping. What's going on?" I said, "I'm just letting myself go, and I'm laughing." Okay, yeah, that's gangster, baby. That is gangster. Try it. Just try it. Just let that happen. There is no fear of energies coming to me and demons. And I've been with the biggest demons, the ugliest demons, and they're all just small, tiny energies, let me tell you. Okay, that experience to allow all these energies to flow through me and my energy to flow through with them and clear and bring love and bring the feeling of joy. So, like the cat can get up and just run around and do its thing.
Sorry, Karen Ishmael.
Well, I second that. Express the inner child, and I think that's a big part of going back to the natural, organic way of life is allowing our inner child to be expressive. Because, in this matrix, the first thing that they did is they suppressed that child from day one, and so I think that's very important as well. Thank you, brother, for sharing that. Now, I do have to get going. I do have another podcast in about 5 minutes, 7 minutes.
We appreciate you so much. And for everyone in the chat, don't worry, I will be contacting Ismael again and squeezing something else into your schedule. And before you go, I just want to thank you so much, because for people watching, I just want to express the fact that, Ismael and Huna, don't worry, Huna and I are staying, don't go everyone, but Ismael and Huna, I know you both well enough now to see that you really do walk your talk, and you consciously have done the work so that you choose to respond rather than react. And, when we were backwards and forwards today, Ismael, you never lose your, I'm sure you must do sometimes, surely lose your cool, but this is what is important, concentrate on the big things in life, don't sweat the small stuff. And thank you so much for being with us. And just very quickly, tell people how they can join you on your thing that you're doing on the 3rd.
Sure. So on my Instagram page, which is Project Restoration Zion 1, all one word, I put a call, an announcement, a clarion call about a week ago, rather, to try to get as many people as possible to focus our collective intention on the 3rd of March, which is going to be a portal, the 3323 portal, in order for us to cause a ripple effect in the quantum field and bring in the new heaven on earth and collapse any negative timeline so that we could shift most of humanity into the positive timeline. And if you guys could take maybe, I'm going to be actually doing a live on Instagram that morning. Okay, guys? So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I could always send Catherine my link.
Yeah.
I'm constantly giving people updates as to what's going on with the galactics, what's going on with the ascension, DNA activation, so on and so forth. And for those that haven't gotten my new book, the new edited version, it reads, even a 15-year-old could understand it. It reads so precise, clearly, and it's just, that last chapter, guys, is worth it. There is an additional chapter that reveals what happens after the ascension. So it's very prophetic, and it's good news. Good news for us starseeds here on the earth. With that have said, thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you so much. And Huna and I are staying. We'll see you soon, Ismael. So much love. Thank you for joining.
My pleasure, my brother.
Aloha.
You say gangsta. I like
gangsta, brother. Gangsta, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get down with the gangsters. Bye. Yeah, thank you, Ismael. Take care. Have a wonderful day.
Bye. Likewise.
So Huna, I've got so many questions for you. So, you were talking about Lemuria 5 and the new operating system. Yeah. So tell us, what does that actually mean? And anyone in the audience, if you've got questions for it, I'm now opening up to questions for Huna and myself. So please don't be shy.
Everything is a matrix. Everything. The only difference between certain matrices is your intention. and let it, and I always ask, and I invite it to be of the highest intention. Benevolence is my key point here, okay? Because everything is a matrix. What's a matrix? A system. What is a system? It's a set of tools, a set of modalities, a set of mechanics and biomechanics, biofeedbacks, magnetics, all moving into a certain rhythm, to a certain song. Okay, let's sing the same song. Okay, so when we're talking about realities and matrices and all these things, let us play the same tune, and we are fast moving towards that. But there are, of course, some that need guidance. There are some that need help, and so I wanted to share an image. Can I share one more image with you?
Yeah, please do.
And this just screen share is of a particular modality. Let me share. Okay, can you see that? Bring that on there. Okay. All right. It's this particular. That's a bathtub. That's the best thing we could do on the day. But I was sharing a modality. This is called the Healing Lagoon Protocol, which is an aspect of what we call the Waikara, which means the light that protects the water. Okay, and in the Waikara, this particular modality refers to the vessel of mother. And anybody know what the vessel of mother means? Land means water, sand, clay, and soil, which is glass.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry, it's gone.
It's gone. It bounced. And which is glass. Yeah. This is a practice that I've shared for many years all across the United States for many years. In fact, I did 20 years of doing this modality in many homes all across the United States and Europe. I retired it's been over 6 years since I've done this modality because I retired from the one-on-one. But this Healing Lagoon Protocol is a practice, and there are many kinds of practices. This is very simple. This is you speaking to the water, you connecting the person that requires support and help, placed into a nice warm tub, if you can manage it, a nice lagoon where it's private, if you can manage it, a 7-star hotel with a nice spa where it's just you and that person. Do the best you can. But my point is being of service beyond self in one way or another. I'm sharing this modality because it's always been a favorite. It's very powerful, and the tools and the codes and the languaging and the sounds and the frequencies that go with it. Everybody and this is, some would say this is paganism. This is all, it is a shaman, but shaman tool, but I am not really a shaman. I am a Huna, okay, which means I am nameless and I'm unlimited and infinite. And so I am Huna, and that's what Huna truly is in essence. And so this is a tool, one of the tools of Lemuria for the Huna. A Huna is not Hawaiian. Hawaiians are Maori or Maohi or Maoli. So Hawaiians come from the energy of Huna, as they like to speak Kahuna. Somebody had mentioned that. Just to put that into perspective, we are Lemurian. And so you have a practice that helps you bring the community together. Very simple modalities. And this one here is particularly very powerful, and it carries the codes on these pieces that you see here. Did I answer that question?
No, don't worry. I'm going to bring that back up. But people are really loving this image, and it is a sort of very, very beautiful. And, this all goes back into people really setting their intention, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, it's being of service beyond self. Take some education or reminding or remembering of your skills and your tools. You should be taking up your days trying to remember your superpowers, starting in the smallest of ways until they start kicking in and you start remembering, or even working with someone that reminds you. It doesn't matter the level, young or old. And we're all ancient ancestors here, just like Brother said earlier. We're here to guide each other, to support each other. I'm not a guru, neither am I a teacher. I am a whale or I am a dolphin, and I will follow you if you follow me, or I will lead you. You can lead me if you're ready to lead. If you're ready to follow. Okay. and we're all ready to follow each other, in my understanding.
So we've got Kim asking, Huna, from this healing modality, what sort of examples of benefits might people expect from this?
Oh, well, this is a clearing of dark energies that seem to have attached themselves to you. I've done exorcisms through this tool, cleared your fields, cleared lineages deep down into your first dimension, clearing the lineage, clearing any kind of attacks that have been going on and put around you, put on you. There's a feeling of, and I've been, the testimonies have been shared with me, of relief, feeling much lighter. Energy's just been magnetically pulled from you, because this turns into a kind of a swirling pool, a whirlpool that goes counterclockwise. And all the tools used from Lemuria are counterclockwise because they are the undoing. This helps mental health. It supports mental health. The practitioner has to be a level, very high level of what we refer to as dragon masters, who have control of the dragon energies of land, water, sky. So this is like, we don't have much time here to speak to all of it, but it can help you physically. It's helped. Let me say, it's helped cancer. It's helped AIDS and patients back in the day. I've done a variety of healings with this modality. It's a tub, but it's not just a tub. When we bring you into the system, it turns into an ocean. Okay, you're in an ocean, even though you're in a tub. And when you're in the ocean, it's cosmic. And when you get into the cosmic waters, all levels of your cells have access through the water. Okay, so just realize that. Yeah, you can say Fibonacci, but this is a lot older than the Italian language, I'm afraid. This is what we call koru, and that is a Lemurian sound that is before Atlantis. I'm going to share things that you won't understand me saying, and may not even believe me. I don't mind if you don't believe me. I'm talking to you from an indigenous light language that's naturally Lemurian. And so this process of the counterclockwise spiral is known as koru, okay? And that is a major part, a very strong part of what we're doing here. I mean, you can ask Mark Edward when he was in the Dragon Ride with us, and the codes we were speaking, and you can, so you have to have a knowledge of some education here, but we're sharing these things now. Why is Lemuria so significant? Because you are in the age of Lemuria. You are in the age of Lemuria right now, which is planet number 5. And that's why Lemuria is significant. Aquarius has returned to the throat chakra of the hummingbird. And of course, Aquarius being an Atlantean language has distortions to it. So we don't need it. We've gone to a higher frequency of language, that which is Lemuria. There's a lot more here, Huna, and I'm sorry I kind of hijacked that for a second.
No, I love it, and I think Huna and I in our discussions moving forward, and we're going to tell you about how you can connect personally with us soon, in a few weeks' time. But we're going to be sharing a lot more of these practical healing things, and just sharing, because it's so important that we really talk about and focus our energy and attention on what we can be doing to create what we want and heal. So let's just answer this question on the screen, Huna. Can you speak to the 12 continents and where they are situated?
Yes, I can.
That's not a quick one.
I can answer that. Yes, I can. Next question.
Yes, please do then. Yeah.
Okay, so the 12 continents, as you all know, you're familiar with Turtle Island. If you're not, then just check it out. All native and indigenous cultures speak of the Turtle Island, yes? That's easy to find out. You can Google that one. All right, now, the Turtle Island spoke to me and reminded me many years ago that Turtle wasn't the only one, that there are also 11 of its brothers and sisters. And I was privy, and I was shared, and they spoke, yes, they all spoke. And so I communicated on every nanosecond of my day, and my practice was to connect and communicate. And so the turtle brought the butterfly, the butterfly brought the hare brought the lamb brought the falcon brought the talking parrot known as the kaka, and the all of the 12. Now we have all of this in the Dragon Masters course. If you're brave enough and you have the courage enough to become a Dragon Master, you can learn all of this information so you can go out and be with them and in the sacred places. Yes, all 12 continents are representative of the 12 birth signs of Lemuria. They are known as Motu, okay? Motu, not zodiacs, Motu. Motu means an island at sea or an island. You landed on Earth. You didn't land in the water and to be overrun by maritime law or anything like that. You carried in with you your laws of the multidimensional spaces as an eternal being, okay? So these represent that. There's 12 continents. Can show you exactly where they are. I mean, I've been to activate the stargates on these continents. So if you're interested in that, you can come with me and then you're going to find out where they are and you can go and visit them.
Yeah, because I so encourage people to really start participating in whatever sort of healing modalities really resonate with you. And there's so many wonderful ones, because it's really, really important. We've had lots of comments in the chat that I absolutely love. Thank you so much for your participation, everyone. It's beautiful. But every single one of us is drawn and has got different gifts and different areas that we want to share, and really waking up those gifts and recognizing them. And no one's a better or worse than everyone's else. Everyone's gifts are valuable. And I'm reading the most beautiful book at the moment, Huna, just a bit of a distraction, that my friend Danielle recognized to me, Mutant Messages Down Under by Marlo Morgan. It's probably my favorite book I've ever read, actually, at the moment. I'd probably do it on a book club. So much wisdom in there. And one of the things I love there is the appreciation in the ancient Aboriginals of everyone's true value and true gift, and how we get better each year. But of course, if you don't use it, it's not going to be adding value to the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What is that question right there?
So here, so I've heard some people call Lemurian crystals. What are they, and how are they different from earth crystals mined from the earth?
Lemurian crystals are in the earth. Also, they began, however, this planet is a crystal, okay? What is earth? Just land. What is earth? The vessel of mother. What is earth? The sand, soil and clay, which is glass. What is water? Water is crystal. When you freeze water, it becomes a solid stone, and it is ice that creates crystals. Okay, this planet was created from stone, which is water, which was solid ice, and all elements were born from within it. And what is Lemuria? Lemuria is a crystal civilization in our higher consciousness, with deep down, deep inside of us, which that image that I showed you of the Wataka represents that place deep down inside of us, which is our heaven, if you like. And there are many avenues that and pathways to it.
Fantastic. So I'm going to ask Yvonne's question, and then I've got one I want to ask. So please feel free to put your comments in, your questions in there. Lemuria, is the Lemurian a symbol from the southern hemisphere? Is it more different?
Lemuria is what began and went through 4 stages of civilizations, 4 golden ages, beginning in the Pacific, and then the second Lemuria came across Europe. So yes, the North was part of it. The North, when Ireland, when Dingle Harbour in Ireland, County Kerry, was part of Wales. And if you can get to that moment, go to the caves at Dingle Harbour, right? And in those caves, you'll need a boat, someone to take you, captain to boat you around. He will take you into the caves, and he will share with you the cliffs inside of those caves were formed 300 million years ago. 300 to 400 million years ago is second Lemuria, which is all of the European continent, or continents, as many continents, location. Okay, that includes, speaking of the Nord, the North, or the Vikings, or the Nordics, or however you want to say. And that is a civilization that lasted for millions of years. Now, those markings that are inside those caves, they're like striations that run horizontal across the cliffs. When you take a Lemurian crystal, much like this one, which is Lemurian, and you rub your finger or your thumb across it, your nail, you can feel the striations. These are codes, Lemurian codes, and they are on the mountains and the cliffs inside those caves. So if you were to rub your hands down them, if you can get up there and read the codes from off those cliffs, you are reading the second civilization of Lemuria, when things changed. There's also when the giants of the giant causeway and the giant beings of Lemuria were in, not the Nephilim. These are giant beings that were in the UK, in those areas, in Ireland, now known as Ireland, but known in our time as Second Lemuria, okay? And so the symbols, you'll see symbols on my hand like this, not 3, but 4. 4 spirals, okay? This is what you're looking for. In fact, something was really funny. Let me just show you, Huna. It's cracked me up. When we were doing the undoing ceremonies and the pulling of the nails from the hands and feet at Mont Saint Michel not too long ago, we walked to a store and we found this apron, and it had my symbols right on the apron.
Love it.
And there was nobody that I know. I don't, unless you have, and I'm talking the last 20 years, ladies, sweet dear ones, have I seen these symbols, and I've traveled the world. This is my favorite apron, okay? It's kind of like my bib, because I tear it up when I'm eating, okay?
That's absolutely beautiful. Now, I want to ask a question. In terms of one of the first questions, sorry, I can't remember the lady's name that was asked on here, was, and when are we going to start seeing some positive things going on in the world? So what I wanted to is slightly add my take on that question and say, for those people that are genuinely not seeing the positive things happening in the moment, what words of wisdom can you give them, Huna?
Every day is a beautiful day. Go to the beach and just sit there and look and feel and let your energy spread into the land, the water, the sky, and give everything. Your most beautiful day is when you are gifting everything you have the best you can, and stop complaining. Gangster means you don't complain. You got nothing to complain about. Take a look at the world, where it's evolving. Everything is changing. For instance, they tried to destroy Africa, and you cannot. It's impossible. Now they and understand, for the same reason for you, they cannot destroy you. Nothing can destroy you. That's got to be a good day, sweet dear ones. And of course, society is changing. Pay attention to what the transference of energy that's happening in the. You may not like to watch the news. I'm not saying watch it and feel all the magnetic energies and just get creeped out by it. Watch it and control your emotions, and read directly into the energy of what's being said and spoken, and then everything that you feel that is not true or correct, then flip it 180 degrees and know that they're lying because they don't want you to know, but they just revealed it to you because they were lying. Okay.
And just as you said that, we went up to the magic number of 444 on the chat. Thank you so much. For those of you that weren't here from the start, we set our intention at the start of this for beautiful sharing of light energy, and each and every one of you is contributing to that so beautifully. And just adding to what Huna was saying there, for the lady at the start that was struggling to see the positive that's happening at the moment, one of my daily practices is setting up and setting my intention for this to be an absolutely beautiful day for myself and every creature, being, plant, stone that I interact with, and reminding myself that it's a choice. And don't get me wrong, do I sometimes fall into, but yes, when you recognize that, then you have the choice to do something about it. So I'm not saying I don't, I'm still at the stage personally where I consciously engage in these processes to make sure that I set my intention clearly. And Huna, what would you say about gratitude being a way of being rather than an action?
Oh, yes. So gratitude in a way of being exudes compassion. Okay, that's that love energy. You can, you have abundance of. You don't need to dig very, very deep for gratitude. There's so much to be grateful for. All on the surface, even on the surface, it's there. It's abundant. Gratitude is abundant. And when you have gratitude, there is so much compassion revealed. Okay. So allow that gratitude to come and then feel that compassion. That's a really powerful thing. I'll tell you. Right? I love it when, I love this. I'm so grateful to Huna Kawahori, to Catherine. I'm so grateful that she accepted an open-minded and open-sourced into the Huna, in the world of the Huna, and all of these things that are rushing in. She's taking all this information, books. She's reading books. She's going into the Dragon Masters courses, and she's being put into all this information. And I am so grateful because that sharing, from what she is sharing out here to you all, she has done her commitments, made her commitments, and I am grateful for your commitment, Huna. For everyone here, the sweet, sweet dear ones, sweet, dearly beloved, for your commitment to be here and for your voice that you're going to be sharing these things we're talking about. I have so much gratitude for that. And my compassion builds because of it. My heart is bigger. I have a big heart. It's the size of my fist. See how big that fist is? That's how big my heart is. Okay? And it's getting bigger thanks to y'all, to all y'all. Okay.
Oh, I'm just going to laugh. My friend Julie Hanley's in the chat, and she had a frustrating day yesterday, but today is wonderful. One of my favorite sayings, Julie, is "this too shall pass." And we need to remember that when the ego kicks in, and also when, challenges kick in. It works both ways, the scales of life. So a question here for you, Huna. Are there triple spirals found all over the island of Ireland, codes from Lemuria?
Yes, they were brought in so long ago from the disappearing island known as Brazil. You know Brazil? If anybody's heard of the disappearing island, okay, which is just kind of in a way as a starship in a way. And so those codes were brought in through Brazil. They were also brought across from the periods of Kemet or Kem before Egypt. The Irish have Egyptian bloodlines. Do you know this? Because of Scota, the Princess Meritaten from 1300 BC. Okay, and so coding from the images from Kem come into this, and then our Lemuria, and do have aspects and uses today in terms of the Trinity, the Mother, the Father, and the Child is not left out, never left out. Mother, Father, Child, the family is never left out of this. And I speak to the four here, which is the memory of the family. That's why there's four: mother, father, child, and the memory, the eternal way to remember the family. That's why that's four. Three is all good. Okay, three is all good. If you can remember three, and you got three, that's all good. Mother, father, child. However way you want to spin it, and mark it within the language, perhaps the Druids, the Gaelic. But I would just take it back even deeper and speak to mother, father, child. Anytime you see a Trinity, you got to remember the family, and the mother is never left out. Otherwise, someone's gonna get gangsterized.
Right. Now let's answer Zana's question, and then I'm going to ask Huna to tell you all, because we've had a couple of questions about where you're going to be. So I want to cover what's coming up in the UK. But Zana's asking, can you talk to the significance of the crystal skulls?
Was that, can I talk about crystal skulls? Oh, yeah. There were only a few that were discovered in the Mayan territories, crystal skulls, and other parts of Europe, I believe. And those were created so long ago in Atlantis. Okay, and they're kind of popping up. But also now there have been so many of them machined, made, and produced actually out of China. And you can go to China and make yourself a crystal skull. Why do you think they're all over the shelves in stores now? They didn't pop out of the ground in the times of the Maya and the Mayan territories of Atlantis. So, and the connections and communications coming through those skulls connected to many beings, not just one. Okay, these crystals, these skulls, these beings that are channeling through those skulls. It's communication. It's crystal. It's communication. One might come up with a certain name. Oh, this skull's named so and so. At the same skull, with somebody else, will have a different name. The same skull. Okay, so much is being communicated through one crystal. So many. The crystal, what we call the light of days, and some of the crystal skulls have what we call the legend of days. And so the legend of days sometimes speaks through these crystals. Well, not sometimes, a lot of times. All right. I've been in a lot of ceremonies where people have brought their crystals and they say, "Oh, my crystal's named so and so, and my crystal skull's named and yeah, okay, fine. It's what you want, whatever you want. Okay. Again, go back to the energy. Allow those energies to come within you so you can really feel it, whether you like it or not. Learn how to be in command of yourself and energies coming in. You need no protecting. You need no protection. You don't need that. You have only need of awareness and the ability to withstand a capacity, as much so that it is a benefit to you. Okay, I know what I'm saying might be impossible, but it is doable even to a certain level, which helps you get stronger and stronger and stronger. If you don't start, you will never know, and you will never remember. Okay, so the crystal skulls, the communications, are reading into all kinds of energies, but just be ready to capacitate them.
Love it. So tell us, before, I've got a couple more questions that I think are going to be really useful to people. But before we get into that, Huna, tell us about when you're coming to Cornwall in the UK and what you're going to be doing there and how people can join you.
March 31st, I'm going to be in Cornwall, Marazion, St. Michael's Mount. Okay. March 31st weekend to April 4th. We will be performing and presenting what is known as the undoing, the pulling of the nails from the hands and the feet, removing the threat that was placed upon you through religious constructs, not attacking your religion, but removing the threat, okay? Removing the threat levels. That's one activity. Another activity is the pulling of the rods of God, your rods of God. When we talk about this, it sounds so profound, but it's quite simple. It's a modality that helps expand your voltage system and expand your electrical field, not just your aura, but what actually is the energy that helps to power your intention. Okay, to put electricity to your word. Okay, let's put electricity to your word. Your word is fire, and then that requires voltage. So we expand your rods of God. Another tidbit, which we will confirm, the possibility of having what we call the Dragon Ride. And the Dragon Ride program is a very deep therapy, a group therapy, which we take you beyond your self-preservations and do a very powerful clearing, cleansing in a group setting. It's very incredible. Ask Mark Atwood; he went through it himself. And also, I will be doing seals. I've got 10 seals, Huna, on April 4th in the location. Seals is initiation into the Nameless One, clearing and flashing your system with light. That's why they call me Huna Flash. I will flash the heck out of your system and run powerful source light through there to clear out what doesn't serve. You decide what it feels like. You decide how you're going to stand. If you stand after that, I will ensure that you are safe and taken care of. Okay, so these are some of the things. I know I'm getting a little bit poetic here, aren't I? little bit gangster, a little bit gangster, Huna.
If you're drawn to join us in some of these, I will be in Cornwall with Huna for at least some of those days. So is there is this going to be out on site or is it going to be inside? Talk people through what they can expect.
Okay, with the venue for these two events, these two occasions, indoors, private. Okay, the pulling of the nails is private. Though there will be people in attendance in the queue, we call it the 3 moon procession, and that's how we process everybody through. It takes all day. We will be at the Luger Hotel. It's across from just down the road in Penzance, down from St. Michael's Mount. And so just check that out. But we'll be inside and it'll be private and you'll be safe, and it doesn't matter the weather. We take care of you.
Beautiful. So I will add the details to that. Huna, you can send me those the link to where they can see the details of that, and then we can I can add that later below the videos. But Huna's contact details are below anyway, so please do reach out to Huna or myself if you're interested. So there's so much in terms of people trying to get the balance at the moment, Huna, between understanding enough information to make good decisions while still taking actions towards the light. What advice would you give to people? It's probably the thing that I get asked most by people.
If you can, even at one time in your life, come with me to a Stargate. You'll have to prepare for it. Okay? If you can do that once in your lifetime, you may get a hankering to do it more than once. The experience is incredible and will last you a lifetime. In other words, have an inspiring moment. Find a moment that is so profound and inspiring that you can be a part of. Not just a retreat, a yoga, or a massage, or, a dip in the hot tub. No, not just a vacation. Somewhere that's really going to challenge your light, your energy, especially when it challenges your proclamations. And I've said this before. If you want to proclaim so much, whether that's religious or otherwise, Jesus, God, or otherwise, then challenge yourself and know your limits. Find your limit. Be gangster about this, ladies and gentlemen, sweet, sweet, dearly beloveds. It's important to know who you are. And if you can find a moment to actually not just remember, it is difficult to remember on your own. But if you can be at a Stargate or at a moment or an event where it's really going to activate and trigger you, you need to be in a quiet place. It needs to be where you can focus in on that intention and not all noise going on all around you. If you can keep the mosquito bites out, that's even better. You need to be able to focus in on yourself. Find a moment that can do that. And we have plenty of those to share with you. Or if you're being, let's say, prompted, are you being prompted right now? And not just channeled, but prompted. You're like being shoved and pushed to go and do something. Pay close attention to that. All right. I'm not going to say just do anything willy-nilly, regular, that's kind of part of the norm, that's kind of just everyday things you can do. I'm talking about something that is not in your usual vocabulary. Let me just say.
I completely agree. That it's pretty common sense, and so many great people say it. But if you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results. So if you want to shift your life in any aspect, doesn't matter whatever aspect you might be talking about, you have to start making different choices. You have to start doing things differently. And when things get too easy, as it is actually for a lot of people at the moment, despite what we might think, we are a creature. Every creature in nature is designed to be challenged. And at the times when they're challenged is when their real strength and their real power comes out. So I would really, really encourage that. So a final question here from Walking in the Light. Something negative was said about the spiral timeline. It alluded to evil. I've seen this in a Native American Indian tribe and Hopi and more. Any input, Huna?
Yes, time spirals clockwise. That's an agenda of the Draconians. And the season and the energies spiral in the opposite direction. You need what counteracts that is to move your months, your days, your time counterclockwise in alignment with the rotation of the planet and the seasons. We are thereby aligning to love. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to have to get out of the draconian Gregorian time cycle calendar and move into the Lemurian. It's the Lemurian that moves time and sound and light and energy counterclockwise. Okay, we have that. If you want to know more, that's how you do it. And I know the Hopi people, Loloma. If you're a Hopi, Loloma, say hello to you, Loloma. And I know many of the native communities. I've education with them over 30 years, so I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and some of those information was shared to them a long time ago, but either they listen or they don't. What are you going to do? So I just share with you, okay? The way to eliminate time and its effects is by moving time and days and months and weeks counterclockwise in alignment with the energies of the seasons of love, counterclockwise. All right, there's more to that, but that's in simple words. This is what you got to do. This is what we do. This is what we're about. Say hello to my dragon, Tani Maro. He has what you call an amethyst crystal that is spoken of in Lemuria as the Kumara. Some of you might know of the Kumara. Okay, there you go. That was to answer another question.
Leanna Lee, no, we don't. Huna's not actually going to pull out people's nails.
No, not your fingernails.
No, I'm not laughing too hard, but I just want to just make sure we cover that one. If you come, you're not going to physically have your nails pulled out. Please don't panic.
If you talk like that, I'm going to pull your nails out of your fingers.
I know I keep saying one last question, but I really love this question by Emma. I think it's a really great one, Emma. People are looking for the big miraculous signs. Please talk about the little things to notice that show you on the right path. I think that's a really lovely question.
Yes, that's right. It's not always about a big show. It's about the tiny show, that which is a fractal, a primary star, a very infinite small fractal. It's about that. Less is more. Okay, now what are you looking for? Well, ask yourself, I don't know what you do throughout your day, but I'm going to share this word with you. This sound is called Wairua Tapu, which means the sacred eternal memory. And when you are walking along, and maybe many of you have done this, I know many of you have, it's kind of part of high school. If you're walking along a path in nature or even in the town, and you come across a feather in front of you, or you come across a penny, or you come across a colored bit of paper, or you come across something that's interesting, a guitar pick. If you come across a bottle top that says something, or even says nothing, pick it up, okay? Put it in your pocket and just sit it. If you have a kawa, which is an altar, we call the kawa. If you have a kawa, sit it on that kawa, right? What you need to recognize is what comes across your path on a minute by minute, hour by hour, or daily process during your walk. What crosses your path is there for you to understand. Of course, anybody can come up with that one. And then we have been coming up with them when we have been on the path of the Wairua, because something within those little items is going to share a memory with you.
I every single time, I think everyone knows just how much I love animals, a lot more than humans, and I really do. I love animals, but every single animal, I spend a huge amount of time out in nature. I have created a life for myself that means I'm surrounded by animals. I've got 3 cats in here with me now. And when I'm out in nature, when I pass a certain tree or a bush or see an animal, I've seen lots of questions about the significance of animals. I ask them if they've got a message for me. And if you ask with a pure intent to listen, they will tell you. And for those of you asking what certain animals mean, I would really encourage you to not only look it up yourself, but then see what resonates with you as well, and ask if there's a specific message for you, because we can all see the same animal and they can have a different message for each of us. So really, this is a time to start looking at a lot of those things, in my opinion, yourself, and to ask the questions and then be quiet and listen and see what comes to you.
It would be really something if a lion's head happens to cross your path.
Yes.
Or a bear skin, or a fox pelt. That's got something.
I don't want any of them. I want the real creatures, thank you, not the skins. So, yeah.
They may. Okay,
Yeah.
That's great.
So we have had absolutely beautiful interaction from everyone today. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is uncanny. We're back up to where it's been fluctuating, but we're on 444 again. How special is that?
Wow.
Huna, what else would you like to share? Any final messages for people before we leave today?
444 is a wavelength frequency. It's a wavelength that carries a powerful frequency of and the 444 frequency is a harmonic frequency with a melody, and it carries that on the wave. So be singing, sing. Even if you've never sung, start singing. Allow that wave of sound to come in, and allow the 444, the memory of the 444 here today be with you. Okay? As we are one wave, and the 444 represents us.
I sing to my plants all the time. I love singing to my plants. They haven't answered me back yet and saying whether they like it, but they're all doing pretty well. So I think they appreciate the effort anyway. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for joining us. Huna, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so looking forward to seeing you in Cornwall, and I'm really hoping some of our listeners will join us, you know, whether it's for one day, for the whole thing. I encourage it. I really do. You know, reach out, step out of your comfort zone, come and see and feel the energy. I can guarantee it will be a beautiful experience. What other countries have you got coming up? Because people want to know where else you're going to be.
Oh, I'm going to be, we're going to be in Japan in May, Mongolia in May, and then we begin Burning Mask, which starts in June and starts in Iceland. So we'll be in Iceland, France or Spain, to be confirmed there, one of the two, but certainly one of them. Canada and Vancouver. And also we were hoping for Australia. We're working on that. Africa again, we'll be in Africa. And then here in Mexico at Mayapan, the pyramid of Mayapan. Okay, so Mexico, yeah. So busy year. Oh, well, you know, that's just another just regular year for me, sweet dear ones. And anywhere in between there, we happen to, you know, have other extracurricular activities going on. We'll let you know.
Beautiful. So you all know how to connect in with Huna now. You know how to connect in to me. We were so grateful for Ismael joining us earlier on. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful energy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Huna. Thank you, everyone in the chat. And we'll be back. Bye, everyone.
Sweet dear ones. Bye.